Hello everyone and welcome to Moodle 2. In this screencast we'll look at how to restore your former classes and to navigate and configure those classes within this new structure. As you can see, I've got the new Moodle up, and I'm just going to go ahead and log in. And in my Moodle space, I have already created for myself a new course. I've requested a course by clicking on this button here for Create My Moodle Classroom. And that's one here called Demonstration Course. And as you can see, it by default has a list of weeks, what's typically called the week course format. I'd rather do that in the traditional topics format. So the very first thing that I need to do in terms of setting up my course is just look over here and find the settings panel. This, by the way, is where you'll find settings for whatever you're looking at. So if you're in a discussion forum, the settings panel will contain the configuration for just that discussion. If you're looking at a wiki, you'll see the configuration for just that wiki. If you're on the course main page, as we are here, you see the configuration for your whole course. Just as we did with Moodle 1.9, you'll see a button in this section called Edit Settings. I'm going to go ahead and press that, and it will take me to the typical settings screen that you'll be familiar with from the previous Moodle system. Where we can set things like what category it belongs in, what the course full name is, what the course short name is. Down here where it says format, I am going to change that to topics format, which was the traditional mode that Moodle 1.9 would set us with. As I scroll to the bottom, you'll see that I've got the option to force a theme, so I'm going to actually do that. I'll choose maybe Leatherbound as a theme for this course. And the rest I can just go ahead and leave. One big difference you will notice on here, and we'll come back to that momentarily, is that there is not a field as there used to be for your enrollment key. Your enrollment key and how students get into your course is actually set elsewhere. So I'm going to go to the bottom and press Save Changes. And in a moment I'm taken back to the main page. You can see the theme has changed. I've got my topics as I usually have laid out here. And now it's time to restore the content. When I restore my content, the files that I saved at the end of last year, the first thing I want to do is press the Restore button on the settings panel. Once I've done that, you'll see that I have a number of options. So for example, I have a place where if I've uploaded some backup files, there is a course backup area where those things will be stored. I also have a private file area which may contain some files. Or I just have a general import area. So what I'm going to do is actually, because this is something I've either backed up to my my hard drive or something that I'm going to be pulling down from Learning Object Repository, I'm just going to click here and say Choose File. When I get to that, you'll see that there's a number of places where I can pull that file from. The most likely places where you'll be pulling those files from are either from Upload a File, which is pulling a file from a disk that you have access to, or a jump drive, or your hard drive, or the Alfresco Learning Object Repository, which is where you'll find things like distributed learning course templates to import from. If you're importing from your hard drive, all you need to do is click on Upload a File, push Browse, and you'll see your typical file open box appear, and you can just press Open and continue on. However, in this case, I would like to take or create this class from a template. So I'm going to go actually into the Alfresco repository, and I'm going to enter my username and password, the same thing I used to get into Moodle. Once I've logged in, you'll see the list of places that I can go within the Learning Object repository. I'd like to pull up a Moodle template course, and so I'll click on that. And maybe I'm pulling this in for high school, so I'll click high school, and perhaps this is an English Language Arts course, so I'll click on English Language Arts. And you'll see a list of backup courses. Ultimately, these courses will have names more like what you see here for the 10-1. However, all of these are active courses and active course templates. So let's pull the English Language Arts 10 in. By clicking on it, you'll see the file name appears. And I'll just say select this file. So this is saying I'd like to build my own course based on English Language Arts 10-1. So I'll hit select. Again, the same process you'd use if you're uploading from your own hard drive. You'll see the wheel turn for a little bit as it transfers the file from the object repository into Moodle. And then you'll see it appear in this import backup file box. At this point, if I'd like to restore this to my course, all I need to do is press the restore button. When I do, it's going to ask me, first of all, if I do want to restore, warning me that it is a Moodle 1.9 file, not a current file. And so you say this is selected file is not a standard Moodle backup file. The restore process will try to convert. This is a Moodle 1 file of type course, and we already knew that. So I'm going to hit continue. And now it's going to ask me where I'd like to put that course. And since I've got a blank course to embed this in, you can see it says merge the backup course into this course. That makes sense as a place for me to do. However, if I have a course and I want to completely overwrite it, and that's under rare circumstances, I do have the other option of deleting the contents of this course and then restoring. So I'll click continue, and it's going to ask me which objects from that template I'd like to pull in. I'm going to just hit next. Now it's going to give me a detailed list of the objects. Before I hit next, however, I do want to edit the course full name and short name so that it actually matches what I'm teaching and not the template that it came from, which, as you can see here, was from summer school. So I'm going to edit those. I'm now going to look through the list of all of the objects that are included in this template, and I would like to import the whole work, so I'll just leave everything checked. I'll push next. It's going to give me one last warning to tell me what's going to be imported, and I'm just going to push the button down here that says perform restore. This next piece may take a little while because Moodle has to do a lot of work to install all of those different pieces, but when it's done you'll get this little green message that pops up to say the course was successfully restored, and all I need to do now is click continue, and you'll see I'm now back into the course that I had before. However, it's now populated with the content from that template. As always, if you have any troubles completing this process, please feel free to give me a shout.